What's happening, everybody? Back again. So there was a big story going around. I heard it from numerous people, and every time I had to say, "Yeah, yeah, I heard." But story was that a young girl, approximately 11, 12 years old, and her mother were at the mall, the local mall in Tulsa, and the girl said she needed to go use the bathroom. So the mother walks her to the bathroom, but doesn't go inside the bathroom. Waits outside the bathroom in the hallway. Says, "Go ahead and go in. I'll wait for you here." So, 10 minutes or so go by. And she never comes back out. So the mom, kind of starts to worry, like, well, what's going on? So the mom walks into the bathroom. And when she walks into the bathroom, she sees two older girls, one on each side, holding her daughter up by her arms. And her daughter's passed out. So she says, "What are you guys doing?" And the two young women say, "Oh, this is our friend. She had a little too much. We're trying to get her home." And they were trying to carry her out of the bathroom. The mother then says, "No, she's not. That's my daughter." And they then just drop her. And she's knocked out, so she's passed out. So she falls, hits her face, busts her nose on the floor. She's bleeding. The mom picks her up. The mom calls, 911, they bring an ambulance, etc., etc. And it was said that the last thing the girl seen was one of the females coming towards her with a needle, poked her with it, and then she passed out. Supposedly when EMT got there, they said that she was basically overdosing on whatever they injected her with, and that's what caused her to pass out. Whether it be some sort of opiate, whether it be heroin, something like that, like I say, a small girl or male, anybody of that doesn't weigh a whole lot, it wouldn't take much of something like that to make you pass out. Especially when they're kids and their bodies are not used to drugs or anything like that. So it wouldn't take much for somebody to inject you and for you to pass out. So first off, that's a horrible and scary thought. And I want to go ahead and say, Tulsa is one of the number one places in America right now, from what I understand, for sex trafficking and child trafficking. So these things are happening. They're happening all around us every day. Kids are getting stolen. Women are getting stolen. They even steal men. They're not, They're not prejudiced against anything. They don't care. And some of them are being taken out of the country. But what a lot of people don't understand is they take a lot of these young girls and they don't ever leave the country. They take them different places. They put them in, scumhole buildings, hotels, whatever, and keep them on drugs, keep them, incapacitated to where they barely know what's going on. They're disoriented, and they let basically men come through and pay to have sex with them, rape them. And these are the kind of things that are happening to, like I say, young girls, young women, children. They don't care. They're selling children. They're doing all kinds of horrible shit. And it's got to stop, first off. It's horrible. But people don't understand. This stuff is on the news. This stuff it's known. It's put out there. And I continuously see, I'll be driving down the road and I'll see a young girl walking by herself, or I'll see a child walking by themselves. This is 10 years ago. That was okay. You could do that. Kids could run around, they could play, they could do whatever they wanted, and you didn't have to worry about them until it got dark. And then the kids knew to come home. That's what we knew. When it started to get dark, go home. And you didn't have to worry about your kids, though. These days, you can't do that. It's a different day. It's a different age. And sad to say, your children are not safe to go out and play by themselves. They're just not. It's a sad thing. It's a horrible thing. But unless you have your own property, your own yard that's fenced off, it's not safe to let your kids go out and play, go walk around. It's not safe for you to drop your kids off. People drop their kids off at malls thinking that, oh, they're in the mall, there's people in there, it'll be safe. It's not safe. It's one of the most unsafe things and unsafe places that you can do, that you can go, that you can drop your children off to. Children go in there, there's people walking around there just looking for things like that, looking for kids that are easy to pluck, young women, 15, 16, it doesn't matter. And all they have to do is pull them into one of the back rooms, out a back door, they're gone, never to be seen again. How many times on the news or on Facebook do we see posts going across saying, please help me find my child? Knowing that there's really good odds that that's what happened to them and you're never going to see them again. That's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thought. But back to the story. The Tulsa police then put out, this story was going around so much that the Tulsa police read it, heard about it, looked into it. They say that they have no evidence that this actually happened at that mall. They looked in their logs. They never sent an ambulance. They were never called out to a scene there at the mall. Not on that particular day, or at that particular time at least. So, as far as they know, this didn't actually happen, or if it did, it didn't actually happen there at that time. They were asking people if you had any actual evidence or anything to prove that it did happen, to make them aware of it, show them it. But as far as they knew, they wanted to let everybody know. Basically, they were trying to make everybody less scared about going to the mall, I guess. So maybe it worked for some people, but like I said, if you have half a mind and you're smart, do not be letting your kids just go places by themselves. People often assume that because there's a group of them that they're going to be fine. They're not going to be. They can take a whole group of kids, and even if they don't, they just get one. They get somebody's child. What are the other kids going to do? The other kids can't fight them off. They can't do anything. They're going to have to either run or sit there and watch it happen and scream, be scared. So them being in groups doesn't make it any better, any safer. So please, don't let your kids walk. Don't let your kids walk. How many people have had their kids come up missing just walking, letting them walk to school? They think, oh, they're just going to school. It's just 2 blocks, whatever. It's not safe. It's not safe at all. There was actually one in my town, and it was a few years ago, probably 5 years ago. A girl was walking to school. She lived a block away from the school, a couple blocks away from the school. She was walking to school. Actually, she was walking home from school, I believe, and came up missing. Nobody could find her for a day or two, and eventually she showed back up. But she was kidnapped, she was raped, and this time this guy just happened to take her back to the same area and let her out. So her parents were lucky enough to see her again, but it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Figure out a way to drive your kids to school. Don't let them walk. Don't let them walk to the store. Don't let them go walk around the mall. And like I say, I'm not trying to sound like a broken clock here, but this is children's life. These are kids' lives. And can you even imagine one of your children, or even if you don't have kids, somebody else's child, somebody else, a grown adult, a grown female, anything like that? Can you even imagine them being taken and for the rest of their life they're tied up somewhere being raped, or they're sold to somebody overseas and they're made to do whatever they want them to do, and they're never able to leave. They can never do anything on their own ever again. Can you even imagine that? It's pretty horrible. So, like I said, I've watched enough stuff, I've read enough stuff to know that this, like I said, is not safe. America's not safe anymore. It's not safe to go out and hang out by yourself. And it's horrible. It's a horrible thing because you want to be like, you know what? Screw those bastards. They're not going to keep us, scared and worried. But really, what can you do? You can say that and you can go out and do what you want. Let your kids go out and do what they want. But then if they come up missing, there's no getting it back. There's no helping. So, like I said, I just wanted to kind of speak on that story, and I just wanted to kind of speak on the whole situation in general, because Every day you watch the news, there's more children missing, or there's more young women missing. And like I say, rarely, very rarely do they ever show back up. Very rarely do their families ever see them again. And this is why. Because sex trafficking, child trafficking is at an all-time high. And it's, like I say, it's horrible. And they're cartels, and it's like I say, Mexicans for the most part that this is happening from. So, but they, like I said, they use all different types of ruses. They'll use elderly women saying, "Oh, I can't lift my groceries into the car. Can you help me?" And most, young people, whether it be young men, but mostly young women, are going to go, "Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am, I can help you." Walk over towards their truck, towards their van, whatever, go to help them grab something. They snatch them inside, they're gone. Never see them again. That's happened more times than probably anything. But from what I understand now, they're using all types of different ruses where they'll actually make it look like their cars broke down, somebody late. There was one, somebody posted where they said somebody was actually laying in the street, blocking the road to where you had to stop, acting like they were in a car crash or their car broke down, something. Then when you stop to see what's going on, they try and grab you. They try and steal you, steal whoever. Just all types of weird shit like that. So it's to the point you can't give anybody rides anymore. You can't ask somebody if they need help. A friend of mine actually pulled over on the side of the highway to help somebody that had a flat tire, and they tried to beat him. They tried to rob him. I don't know if they were trying to actually steal him, but they were trying to rob him of his car and all of his possessions. He was able to get loose. It was two guys, I believe, and I think a female maybe. He was able to fight his way out of it. One of his teeth got chipped in the fight, trying to basically to fight for his life to get back to his car, and he was able to do it, luckily. But like I say, it's to the point you can't stop. Used to, I was one of the number one people to stop and help somebody that's broke down. Because everybody's been there. You want to be like, "Hey, do you need a hand?" Especially, being mechanically inclined, and you feel like you can help them. You want to stop and help them, but it's not worth the risk anymore, unfortunately. So the good people that really are broke down or need help don't get help because of these bastards. So, like I say, everybody think about all this stuff. Just think about it before you let your kids go anywhere by themselves. Don't let them go anywhere by themselves. Like I say, I know it at that point it kind of seems like you're not giving them any room to do anything, but is it worth it? Is it worth never seeing them again? In my opinion, no. And I would think in most people that are in the right mind, no. You know what I mean? So everybody think about all this stuff, and like I say, if you don't believe it, look it up. Look at the statistics. Look at what all has been happening. And you may live in a city that it's not so bad, but here it's bad, and for the most part it's bad all across the U.S. There are just cities that are worse than others. But anyways, I appreciate everybody for watching. Everybody take care of their children, their wives, their fiancés, girlfriends, whatever. Take care of your women. And men, watch out too, because they're not, like I said, they're not prejudiced. They don't have nothing. They don't care. They'll take whoever. So everybody just do each other a favor. And if you see a woman and her kids walking out of a store, going to get in their vehicle, keep an eye on them. Make sure they get in their vehicle. If everybody watches out for each other's family, everybody will be a lot safer, But anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I drop something. And drop me a like. Obviously, the more likes, the more apt it is to be seen. And if you'd like to, drop me a comment and tell me what you think. Tell me if you've ever experienced anything like any of these things I've spoke about. Other than that, I hope everybody's having a good-ass weekend. Start to the weekend, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I'm out.